Hi everyone, Kansi here from Atop Serenity Hill, and I wanted to do something with all this collage fodder that I made in my YouTube live last week. You'll find a link to the live below. I'll also put it up in this little corner up in here so that you can check it out and make your own. But if you already made some, or if you have collage fodder that looks like this, then maybe you want to play along with the video. I wanted to go back to grid journaling. I had done this grid journal recently, and again, the link will be below. If I mention something, the link is always in the description below. And I really love the idea of doing another grid journal, but maybe something a little not so, 6 squares sitting on the page like this is. So I thought maybe I could do some kind of grid, make up the grid with book paper. And I love the idea of using these words that have to do with fall. I have this Webster's New World Dictionary, a thesaurus actually. It came, a thesaurus, I love a good thesaurus, but it came to me from a friend who was getting rid of it and didn't need it, and it's not something, that I'm going to use, so I'm going to rip it up. And what I want to go through and do is I'm going to find sections that have to do with fall. So I had gone through and found this section that was all about, synonyms for the word red, which I thought was delightful. And so I'm going to go and find some more. And I like the idea of creating these on the page in an unusual pattern that's not necessarily just the 6 squares, and then adding in some of these bits to it. So, add a leaf or the tree or apple, flowers, whatever I feel like doing. First, I want to lay out the pattern, and then we'll see where I go from there. If I want to add some color, we're going to play. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to do it off camera because I don't think you need to see me whipping through a dictionary or a thesaurus, is just to go through and find some things that remind me of the fall. Maybe, I have apples, so maybe I'll see if I can find the word apple, sunflower, tree, fall, autumn. I found red. I have some mushrooms here. Maybe I can even find the word mushroom. So I'm going to do that, and then I will meet you back here. Okay, so I went through, and funny enough, I couldn't find the word pumpkin, and I forgot to look for sunflower. But I found orange, leaf, leafy, leaflet, apple, autumn, fall, mushroom, and red. So I have 7 to work with. And I'm going to pull this to the side, pull my collage fodder to the side. And let's see what we're going to do. So I like the idea of ripping them, obviously. I rip them out, and I don't have to use all of it, but I'm going to rip them and just see how they lay out. Oops, obviously just cut off the word red. Don't you love when that happens? I did, I cut off the word red. Oh well. This is what happens when you're just ripping paper. You never know how crazy you're going to get. I have the big word mushroom on this one. So the thing about the thesaurus is that all the squares are the same width. So I might have to play with that a little bit once I get the general gist. I might skinny some of them up. I like that I ripped that a little off. Same thing with this. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a square. We have, I'm calling it a grid because I'm setting up sections. But grids do not have to be equal in my eyes. Maybe if I looked up the word grid in the thesaurus, in my thesaurus here, it might say that, the grids are even. Maybe not. Who knows? But again, this is taking artistic license. I'm calling it grid because I'm setting up sections. So there I've got that, and then I've got my orange here. And let's see. I like that this one's a little bit skinnier. So I've got 3 in that section. Okay. That's kind of fun. This one goes this way, this goes this way. I might move these around. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Okay, I like the way that is hanging out there. So before I glue everything down, the next step is going to be to see what I want to add to them. So it doesn't really matter what it is. I love the idea of the apple, although maybe a little apple might work out fun, as opposed to this big one, which takes up the whole space, the whole section that I ripped out. Okay, I definitely have the mushrooms, so maybe a collection. Oh, here, I had this little yellow one. I love this little yellow one. So maybe a collection of mushrooms on this one. I definitely have some fun leaves happening here. The word orange might have a pumpkin. That would be fun. Autumn. These leaves to fill in that. I don't want to, I like that space, but I do like that space. Almost like this giant leaf. That might be kind of fun. So let's see how that's working. So I have autumn here and then the word leaf here. Maybe that might work better. And then I could tuck a tree. Tuck a tree. That sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? Tuck this tree to the side. You can always cut the tree, which could be kind of fun. So we're going to see how that works. This is red. I love the idea of maybe the sunflower. I'm playing with the idea of, do I put it on top of it? Do I put it to the side of it? You know, honestly, it could be wherever. The overlapping might be kind of fun as well. And this is where some more leaves might come in handy. So this would be a section where, do I want to put a flower off to the side? And that way I have a leaf that comes out from underneath it, starting to connect items in that respect. So if I did that, that's coming out from under here. Maybe the mushroom sits off to the side and everything isn't, maybe the apple's the only thing. And I have a couple little extra leaves that I might tuck in. So that's not a bad idea to get started. So I have it all laid out, and not everyone, you probably are not recording yourself playing like this. So when I set something up like this, I will always take a picture of it with my phone, and that's what I recommend to you. That way, when I move it to the side, then I will not forget what I just spent time trying to place and like. I usually don't create like that. A lot of times I create just by gluing it down and just seeing what happens. But this idea wasn't fully formed in my head. So I did it this way. So I'm going to take a picture, I'm going to move it, and then I'm going to start gluing it all down. Okay, so I glued all my paper down, and then I did remember that I wanted to tuck this tree under here. So I left the top half of the mushroom sheet open so that I can do that. The rest of it I knew wasn't going to have anything tucked in. So I just wanted to make sure that I had that. I remembered that. That's what helps making that photograph. So I know that I'm going to glue these all on top, but there's not enough color right now on these. So I grabbed my inktense pencils, and I kind of want to put, I could have grabbed watercolor. You can grab whatever you have available, but I haven't used these inktense pencils in a while. So I have my water brush and the inktense, and I'm going to add some color. We're going to do a test run here and see what I think. So some random color, like do a little orange, obviously orange on the orange. And kind of add some fall colors in. So I've got my orange. I'm going to put them to the side so I remember what I'm using. I've got my sun yellow. So some yellow in here. Because I'm using all the colors across everything, I didn't want to circle each part of the grid with a specific color because that wouldn't work too good. So I think I have two different versions of red. Nope, they're just two poppy reds. Okay. Because then it, you know, like I might end up with all orange on the orange and then a mix. So it's feeling better to just be a little more on the random side, and we'll see what happens. You know how I love to just experiment, go with the flow. All right, and then I want a green as well. Probably something in the darker green as opposed to the bright. So I've got one here called Beech Green, B-E-E-C-H, like the tree. That seems kind of appropriate for my autumn theme. And hopefully this will work the way it's pictured in my head. And if it doesn't, we'll figure out something else, because that's the great part about doing stuff like this, is just experimenting and figuring out what you like, what you don't like. All right, so I want to have a paper towel handy, because the one thing with the inktense pencils is that you'll muddy them together if you don't keep wiping the brush. Especially like, you know, the orange and red, maybe not so much, but with the green, it'll start to get super muddy. So I want them to blend, but not get mud. All right, so I'm going to blend these out, and then we'll decide on our next step together. right, so I got all my pencil on, wet, smeared around. And then what drying it also helped me find is places that are not completely glued down. So I'm going to go back in and make sure everything is glued. This I'm still holding up on purpose. Oh, pretty good. All right, so the next step is to lay down some of the pieces that I had decided on and see what I think. I do think I'm going to end up cutting part of that tree off. All right. I have those little leaves. I might save them for the pumpkin. And so because I had enough brain power, take a photo, I have a general idea of where I expected everything to then fall. Get my mushrooms. All right, so I got my mushrooms there, and then I'm gonna see, do I wanna rearrange it a smidge here and there? Do I like what's happening? Is there anything else I want to add? I love the idea maybe of a leaf on that pumpkin. That might be kind of fun to add that. All right, so the next thing I'm thinking is that a lot of my pieces have scratchy lines, have those scribble lines, not scratchy lines, but scribble lines on it. And I might want to do that to the boxes to make them more, to make them stand out more. So I'm going to grab my Sharpie pen. Okay, grab my Sharpie pen. Had to find one that was working. And I'm just going to scribble outline my grid. Okay. Yeah, because then it starts to tie the elements, the collage fodder that I made. It then feels like it's connected better to the background. And I'm going to keep this on the angle. I love that. Super scratchy. Ooh, fabulous. Pretending this one is still glued down. Okay, so I got that done. I'm going to pop these back on real quick. Just looking, checking it out. Is there anything else that I feel that I might need? And the first thing that popped into mind is some texture in the background, like a rubber stamp or some stenciling. So I'm going to grab a rubber stamp. I have a thought, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the rubber stamp that I thought of, let's get all my other supplies, is this little stamp. It kind of looks like little pebbles, or it could be like gravel. This could be that it's kind of a maze, and I've walked on a labyrinth recently, so that's kind of stuck in my head. So these are pathways between the garden. I'm going to pop everything off again. So, you know, this is where, when you're designing, where my mind is going. Like, this is what is taking me. It's taking me into the experience of being in the labyrinth, and how, you know, these become pathways. So if I put this stamp in the background, then it can represent, whoa! Well, now I've got some black on the page, going for it. Love that happy accident. Drop the stamp pad. Now we have a grungy edge, and that's good. There we go. Go with it. But it's bringing up that experience, which I love. So the labyrinth that I walked on wasn't stone. It's in the woods, and it is all leaves, actually. It is built from stones around the edges as the boundaries, so you know where to walk. But this could also represent all those fallen leaves in the pathway that I was walking on. And it seems appropriate for the fact that I'm creating, you know, a autumn page, a fall page. Oh, I love this. That's exactly what it is. And so that's what I love about art journaling is we start with one concept. Sometimes it's, you know, I just want to play with my collage stuff, which is what it was today. It can be just, I just want to have fun, play. I want to try something. I want to experiment. I want to share. For me, a lot it's sharing, obviously, because here I am on YouTube. Sharing. And then it's, you're playing and things happen. Things come up. Experiences show up in your artwork. And I always say, if you start with the play and the fun and the delight, having trouble saying that word, start with the play, the fun, and the delight. The hard stuff will always show up. The labyrinth walk was fun, but it was also a very twitchy experience for me this time. I felt like there's a lot of energy moving through my world and my life right now, and I could feel it as part of the walk. And so that's okay. I mean, that's neither a bad or good experience, but this is helping me to kind of work through that energy a little more. Twitchy energy, you know, sometimes it needs a place to go. And a good place to put that twitchy energy is into, you know, creativity. All right. Ooh, I love that background. Can I tell you, that is delighting me. I feel like I want one more thing. I feel like now, not that I've lost them a little bit, but I am going to take my inktense pencil. I have a black one. And we're going to be very gentle about this. But I'm going to hit it here and there. And kind of make them stand out just a smidge. This one's a little difficult because of the glue. So I'm not going to circle the black all the way. I'm going to make it very random. And you can see it picks up, where's my tree? It's giving a little bit of darkness to it, which then plays into the whole, it's getting dark. It's fall. It's time for it to be darker and for us to go inward a little bit. And so I kind of feel like it was almost like it was too bright. Fall is bright and wonderful, but it also has its, for me, that when it gets dark and daylight savings time, not a fan by any stretch. I prefer sunshine. I thrive in the sun. So again, this is like a little bit of my dark, my little bit of my shadow popping up in my artwork, even though my intention was just to play. Glue down, oops, some more water in that. Glue down some fun bits that I had made along with y'all. But yeah, oh, I love that. That helps sink it in a little bit. Everything dying, falling back to earth. I love this little bit of dark that I've added. Woohoo! You know, in a woohoo. I'm woohooing the dark. Because, well, you have to sometimes. All right, so I'm still seeing this. This is not glued down enough. I can see that. Add some glue down there. And then eventually this will get glued down. Oh, what a fun. It has so many layers to it. The layers of the words that have to do with autumn, the colors, pulling in the labyrinth, a little bit of the darkness for like fall and autumn. Same thing, but depending on how you call it, that's showing up in the world. And then to me, the bright parts are this collage elements that I'm going to put back on top. All right, so let me glue them down and we'll see if we need anything else. All right, everything is glued down. And I just feel like I'm just gonna go back in and add some more scratchy marks with my pen. Kind of just, you know, strengthen up a little bit here and there. There's a personal choice. I don't know that it's necessarily needed, but it's the part that's still talking to me when I'm looking at the page. That maybe it needs, you know, a little bit more black here and there. Yeah. The other thing that feels necessary to me, and I'm not sure, but I'm going to try it, is kind of like some black, stronger black dots. I don't really have a reason for this other than I wanted something stronger with the black. I wanted something, you know, a little bit stronger black in here. So this is what came to mind. And the only way I could know if it worked really was try it, see what I think. And I do like it, actually. I like that. I don't want it on the collage elements, but I do like it between the book paper and the background. Just here and there. Kind of just as an anchor, honestly. That's what it feels like to me, that it's anchoring in everything. All right. Well, I think I'm good. I like the way it's come out. You know, it is definitely a different version of grid journaling than we have seen, because I've taken it and just added so many different elements to it. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get something out of it. And don't forget that you can do your own collage bits. The video is linked below, and I would love it if you would subscribe, give me a thumbs up, make a comment below. All of that helps the videos and helps my channel. And I really enjoy making these videos. I hope you enjoy learning and watching them. And we will see you soon in another video. Thanks, my friends. Bye.